get this, how wiggly and around it now. That's her head.
That's her head down there?
Yeah. It looks like baby Hannah.
Yeah.
Why is it without?
She's gonna be born in a while?
Yeah. But my baby keeps me in my go there.
So today I want to get the raspberry leaf tea ready for when baby Hannah is born. And I normally make it fresh, and I plan to do that again when labor begins, but the last few labors have went really fast, and I actually haven't had enough time to finish it before the baby was here, and I want to have some to drink. So I'm going to go ahead and try something I did for my sister when she was having to travel to the hospital, to have it ready ahead of time so that I have one dose that's already ready to go, and then I'll also prepare a second dose for when labor actually begins. I'm using loose raspberry leaves, and I measured out a whole ounce of leaves in this quart jar, and you can see it's a lot of leaves. I'm going to put 2 cups of boiling water in here and let it steep for 30 minutes. I have a video on my channel already about this particular tea and how to prepare it, and experiences I've had with it, so you guys can watch that video to like get more information. But it's not just like a normal cup of tea. So anyways, I'm going to do that. Then once it's steeped, I'm going to reduce it to the smallest volume possible, and then add vodka in an equal amount to preserve it until the day comes. So I should basically end up with like a little shot of super strong raspberry tea or raspberry leaf tea to drink when I go into labor. You can see how dark it is. It's been a little over 30 minutes, and I'm going to strain this into the double boiler next. So now I'm just going to simmer this in the double boiler on a very low heat, and for however long it takes to reduce it down to about a ½ ounce of liquid. It's been going for about an hour, and it's reduced by about half now. Do you have a baby too?
My tummy.
In your tummy?
A baby tummy.
It's been about 2 hours, and it's down to that much now. I let this sit for a little longer with the heat off, and it's really just sludge now. I'm going to put in just a splash of vodka now. And mix this all up. Couldn't have eyeballed that more perfectly. Let's go right to the top of my raspberry leaf shot. Yeah, sure. So this is how the Shepherd's Purse tincture has come out. It's been a couple weeks now, and I'm going to go ahead and strain that and bottle it so it'll be ready to go too. And this one will have a dropper lid for it. You play the flute?
Yeah. Wait.
Daddy went to the post office, and I got a package from, let's see if it'll focus there. Birth Junkie. Ouch. birthjunkie.com, and he thought that was pretty funny. It's very appropriate for me. It's a book. And I had wanted to read this book before, but it's out of print, and it was so expensive, but I found this one was $40, so that seemed fairly reasonable compared to the ones I had seen. So I'm going to go ahead and read this here at the end of my pregnancy. And Mr. Solly just brought me a present that he made for me, and it says, "You will love this, Mom." Should we open it up and see what it is? Oh my goodness, I do love that. Did you buy that for me?
Yeah, from Thomas' sister.
Thank you, buddy.
Mama, I'm scared of spiders.
You are?
I'm scared of spiders. You want to go get some lunch, Claudia? Peter, come there. I'm scared of spiders, Mom.
today I'm going to finish making all the herb stuff that I wanted for baby Hannah's birth. So I'm going to make up some herbs for afterwards for a bath, and some herbs to do for some tea for the first few days, and then another jar of the raspberry leaf tea that I can make fresh when it's time for the labor. So for the bath, I'm going to use Comfrey Leaf, Lavender, Shepherd's Purse, Uva Ursi, Plantain, raspberry leaf, and Yarrow, and then I have dead sea salt that I'm going to put in there. And for the tea, I'm going to use the cinnamon, the sweet cinnamon, Shepherd's Purse, Cramp Bark, and raspberry leaf. I'm getting my herbs out of my little collection here in the pantry. I've got my bowl filled there. And then down here I have my sea salt. I'm going to mention one last thing, which is I have been using these Dr. Christopher's birth prep herbs that you use in the last 6 weeks of pregnancy. This is the first pregnancy I have used them, but I decided to try it because I've, for several pregnancies I've known about them, but I just never have done it. And I was going to order some, and 2 days after I told Tom I thought I was going to order some, Lindsay from New York sent me 2 bottles. And I was so excited. So thank you, Lindsay, for the birth prep herbs. So that's the other herbal thing I've been doing, along with an herbal vitamin C with bioflavonoids and herbal iron by Dr. Christopher. So those are the other herbal things I've been doing just in my pregnancy. And I'm still using the progesterone cream. I've actually upped it a little bit here at the end, so that's still happening too. So for the bath herbs, I just saw another recipe somewhere, and I'm using what was in there. So I'm going to mix these up, and a cup will go into these small jars along with a cup of these dead sea salts. I'm going to make 3 of them so that I'll have enough to do the bath 3 times. So to make them, you boil 2 quarts of water and then steep the contents of the jar for like 20 minutes, and then you strain the tea into the bath.
Let Hannah play with my bath stuff too.
You would let her play with your bath stuff? That would be so nice. So we have 3 jars ready for 3 baths, and I just need to label them with directions so that whoever helps me knows how to make it. The next is the tea for me to drink, so I'm going to mix these up, and I've never used these before, but I decided it would be good to have these tea bags so that I can have it all ready to go. So these, you fill yourself and then you iron them closed, and they're like disposable tea bags. Normally I would use my tea ball, and it's just reusable when I make loose tea like this, but I like to have these all ready so somebody else can help, and so we'll just have them all. I'm going to put the sugar and the tea bag into some cups and cover them with plastic wrap, so when the time comes somebody just has to fill them with water and they'll be ready to go. I don't think I can do this with one hand, so I'm just going to show you. The little pouch opens like that, and we'll fill it with the herbs and then take it in and iron it closed. The last thing I'm going to get ready is the raspberry leaf tea that's for labor. So I'm going to put some sugar in this jar because this stuff is super strong and gross. Even with sugar, it's still pretty gross. Then I have, this is 1 ounce of raspberry leaves I picked from my raspberry bushes last year. So I'm going to put these in with the sugar into this jar and then put directions on top. Actually, I'll probably be making this myself when the time comes. Okay, so when the time comes, this needs to be filled about 3/4 full of hot water, like boiled water, and steeped for 30 minutes, and then you drink it as hot as possible.